So hi, everyone. Thank you, Richard. I really want to thank Richard and his team for really inspiring work putting this event together and for honoring Harvard Business Review by allowing me to serve in this role. I want to thank my colleague, Julia Kirby, who's our in-house Drucker expert, who's really driven our side of the collaboration. I was really moved to hear from Cecily Drucker, the official Drucker Society, and the even larger unofficial Society of Peter Drucker and Doris Drucker admirers lost an important member of the family, and so it was very nice to hear from their daughter. I also want to take this moment to mention another giant who passed away during the past year, and that is Warren Bennis, one of the great voices on leadership in our era. As Bill George put it, just as Peter Drucker was the father of management, Warren Bennis will be remembered as the father of leadership. So we will also all miss Warren. In 2009, to commemorate the Drucker Centennial, Harvard Business Review asked Rosabeth Moss-Cantor of Harvard Business School to write an article that we entitled, "What Would Peter Say?" about things like the financial crisis, about the collapsing trust in business and institutions, and in a general indifference that we perceive to societal problems. His first comment, she wrote, would have been, "I told you so." As she noted that Peter Drucker predicted so much of what we're seeing in our current era, including most recently the public outrage over executive pay. Peter Drucker had a kind of unrivaled clarity of thought, a deep confidence fed surely by his broad cultural literacy. He seemed equally at ease quoting Confucius, Karl Marx, James Madison. And with that clarity came his knack for translating complexity into memorable aphorisms, some of which we've heard today, like the purpose of business is to create a customer, like management is doing things right, leadership is doing the right things, like, of course, the really important things are said over cocktails and never done. But Rosabeth, in her article, made another very important point, and that is that some leaders cherry-picked these aphorisms, cherry-picked these nuggets of wisdom, and discarded the rest. His ideas about management by objectives were popular, as were his simple questions about what an organization should stop doing. But other Druckerian wisdom failed to penetrate deeply enough. He believed, for example, that management with its broader responsibilities was and should be, must always be, an honorable vocation. He pointed to underlying systems as the sources of both problems and solutions. He believed in change and warned of approaches that served to perpetuate executives' tenure at the expense of sustaining the enterprise. In other words, there were deep, timeless, cautionary ideas in the entire Peter Drucker canon. And I hope that we're inspired by some of these in the next couple of days in our discussions. As Richard said, our starting point for the next couple of days is that things are not exactly okay. Economic recovery around the globe is uneven at best, debt levels are high, respect for institutions is low. There are troubling levels of inequality all over the world. Technology is perpetually redrawing business boundaries, and no matter how much we talk about it, we can't seem to break the stranglehold of short-term thinking. And so the starting point of this meeting is, have we reached some sort of a critical turning point? Is this the moment where we either face these challenges head-on, or do we otherwise risk slipping into decline? And if that basic formulation is correct, then what do we do about it? Are today's managers up to the challenge? And can we deliver on that sense of optimism that Richard also talked about? So these are the questions we'll be exploring in various ways over the next couple of days. We'll be hoping to come up with some action ideas, some concrete plans, realistic steps that managers and leaders can take to move the needle, even somewhat in a progressive way. My own role as chairman of this is to drive discussion and identify some of these talking points, and, as Richard has reminded me, to make sure that everyone sticks to the schedule. We are in Vienna, and we will enforce our deadlines. As my Austrian guidebook said, in Austria, punctuality is taken extremely seriously. It is a sign of respect. It also said, this is another tip, put your napkin on your lap as soon as you sit for dinner and finish everything on your plate. So with these little bits of timeless wisdom, I want to sort of roll right into the first session. So let me call up to the stage Clay Christensen, Gary Hamill, and Roger Martin, and we will get going. Thank you.